told me.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. We are 15, but let's be cheerful and let's get the meeting going. Personally, thanks to Vince for the pens that you've all got in front of you. The ultimate sacrifice, otherwise you'd be using speed print.
Yeah. Don't forget these ones, folks. Still available.
Actually, the yellow on the back goes quite nice to know them. Right, so that's first of all. Secondly, we have no speaker. We're not having a speaker today for 10 minutes. We're going to have a Q&A. So if you listen to 60 seconds, please be mindful of the questions. All you have to do is think of a question for one person. And that's if everybody does that, we'll have too many questions. Right. let's get the show on the road. And oh yes, thanks to the seditious line moving down. It's very good. That's got us together in a slightly more intimate setup.
Is that right? Stole it to events.
I know. Well, that's the benefit for moving down. Yeah. Right. Okay, let's get the meeting underway. I'm Mr. Squire, as you know. My job to get you through the agenda. Those of the leadership team will please be upstanding and introduce yourselves.
Morning, Vincent, membership timing.
Morning, Brian, Social Secretary.
Good morning, Ben, Education Coordinator.
Scott Beatty, Secretary, Hands in Place.
Terry, you know what I do?
May I congratulate the leadership team on the turnout. Right. So let's get the meeting underway. The Performance League is where we kick off. Scott.
There we go. An almost empty league with just 1 week recorded so far for September. Terrific amount I need to say other than remind you to make sure you use the V forms and record all the stuff that needs to go on here. Top 3 positions, 40 points, 3rd place for Howard, 46 points gives 2nd place to Vince.
No.
Yep.
That's the bit.
Yeah, that's good. You get points from Vince. He gets points for referrals that are generated through that. And 70 points is the lead position for
Hey!
Bring it right. Thank you. Thanks, Scott. Right. Education slots.
Thank you very much. So, there's an old proverb that says outward appearances are not a reliable indication of true character. In other words, you shouldn't judge a book by its covers. Now, this is really important, especially in business, because it can be economically dangerous to make a snap judgment based on somebody's looks, what they're wearing, what car they drive, and so on. Literally, there's so many things that help us make that first impression, but you can't judge someone by it. So, for example, many years ago, 2 very scruffy looking lads went into the Aston Martin garage in Cardiff. Now, they started messing around with the cars, turning on the radios really loud, revving the engines, so much so that the manager actually just went up to them and asked them to leave. Now, later that day, that manager had a phone call from one of the directors of the company asking if he had tracked them out. He had explained why he had. Those 2 members turned out to be those 2 lads turned out to be 2 members from the pop group Take That, who actually went on to buy 5 Aston Martins from different garages, not from him. So that was a snap decision that he had made by judging them by their appearance.
Or the behaviour.
Or their behaviour, yes. So unless they prove otherwise, customers that you have really should be treated like customers. regardless of what they look, what they wear, what their gender is, how old they are. This could be a huge mistake, as it could be your most valued customer, or more importantly, it could be a dream referral for somebody that's in the group. Exactly what they're looking for. So when you're talking to people, it doesn't matter what they look like, ask them what they do, what they're looking for, and how you can help them. Because otherwise, your business might suffer, or you could put another member's business in jeopardy by making that snap decision. So the moral of the story is always, don't make the mistake of judging a book by its cover. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
I hope you all took that in, take that
Take that as a popular pop comment for 1990s.
Gareth Barlow. Terry, any membership matters to report to the meeting?
Nothing that I can share with you at the moment.
Right,
It's
okay.
good, isn't it? Need to be downstairs to do music after that.
Okay, let me stand up and pass around the Christmas card box. As usual, you all know what to do with that. And that leads us into the 60-second round. Vince, can we make it
75 is easier.
75?
I see, I'm prepared.
We had a late start.
Oh, no.
We'll have a longer Q&A. That's it. That's nice and easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 75, please. Vince, thank you. So you know what he's going to do. The other is the skirt Jane has. She'll be listening out. She'll pick the rounds and we'll award the Oscar at the end of the round. Okay, let's get underway. First up will be Jane, and she'll be followed by James.
Auntie Jane here from the English Cream Tea Company, filled with thank yous, because we've had some more milestones in the English Cream Tea Company social media horizons, and so Mike's assistance has got us over a magical number on YouTube. We set up a channel from scratch, and we're over the magical number, and now it potentially can become monetized, which is what makes Roger happy, you understand? And Hannah's continued assistance and filming and so on, that's also marvellous, and getting us over, well, 10 trillion actually on that social media. But around the room, various people have said, I've joined TikTok just because of you, which I'm terribly grateful for. That's incredibly sweet. In fact, to get over this magic number with Mike, he said, you're on the cusp. And I just put out a little tweet and went, can anybody do me a favour? And all these people went, done. That is charming. That kind of success in life, in my opinion, if people will support you when you ask for help. And so I'm saying thank you. And it's still not too late to follow at Afternoon Tea Jane or English Queen TV. Thank you.
Well, you really are an influencer, aren't you? Right, that's James. James is next, followed by Emma.
Morning all, James from RMG Insurance. If you don't remember, it's been a while. Every week I listen to your 60 seconds and I know how much you value attention to detail, whether it's with words or images, the rest of it. However, I've spent the last week with people that don't have the same attention to detail, and it's about their insurances. I know that the scaffolders, the roofers and everyone else pay incredible attention when they're up a ladder or up scaffolding. When it comes to insurances, they just don't care. They just, every year they get a piece of paper, they don't read it, they pay it and send it back. One of our guys is retired, and I'm dealing with a lot of his clients, and their turnovers, their wage rolls, the amount of stock they've got, their addresses, they're all wrong. One guy, yesterday, I saved £4,000 on his premium because his turnover had changed, his wage roll had changed. So please, if you've got insurances and you haven't really paid attention to that because you're too busy paying attention to words and images and bills, just take 5 minutes to make sure that you've got your insurances right, because one, you could save yourself money, and two, if it's the other way and you should be paying more, if you do come to a claim, they're going to have it off you one way or the other, and probably twice as bad. So attention to detail at work, brilliant, but also just make sure you are making sure your insurance is right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. Emma, you're followed by Emma.
Morning everyone, Emma Taylor from Keller Williams, not your average estate agent. There seems to be a little bit of uncertainty in the market at the moment and overall in the general UK. But we are seeing some more properties coming on the market at the moment. However, viewing requests have seemed to have dwindled a little bit. We are not getting the numbers that we were perhaps 3 months ago. I would like to say that I have a crystal ball and I can see what's going to happen. I don't know if this is going to, go up again. But from the numbers that I study, it is showing signs of a balancing market. So if anyone is looking to move before Christmas, or you know of anyone that's looking to move before Christmas, they really do need to start thinking about what they want to do right now. Like I said, we're not getting the viewing requests we were 3 months ago, where we could fill a house with 10, 15, 20 people. We're now seeing that down to sort of maybe 5 to 7 people, so it has dropped quite dramatically. So yes, if you hear of anyone looking to move before Christmas, I would love to have a chat with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hannah.
Hello, I'm Hannah O'Shea from HFO Media. I help businesses have a better way with social media. This week I've just been meeting up with new clients, really exciting. The problem that I have normally is that a lot of people, they ask me what I do and how I do it. So to save all that time and palaver of, doing all the admin, I've come up with a document, just a little document that, explains more about me, what I do, and the process in which I do it, and obviously pricing as well. So if you or anyone you know needs or would like to know more about me, please get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Right, Neil's not here. Mike Skinner is next, who's followed by Ben.
Morning everyone, I'm Mike, founder of Blackwater Media, and I create digital content for businesses and events. So before I go back to the basics a little bit, because I've been here for a couple of weeks, I'm predominantly looking for any businesses that would like to benefit with a company overview video to go on the front page of their website. It's the most obvious video for any company that's looking to spruce up their website and that sort of thing. It's on the opening page and it shows who they are, what they do, and why you should deal with them. The videos can have text information, purely just nice video shots or spoken audio over the top, and they work really well for every company from London banks down to your local garden centre. As soon as people click on the website, they're greeted with a clear, flowing, on-brand video showing them what the company does and the inside of it. So if you know any companies whose website just doesn't really capture who they are, needs freshening up a little bit, point me in my direction, please. Michael Blackwood Media.
Thank you, Mike. Ben, you're followed by John.
Good morning, guys. Ben Golding from Utility Warehouse. Now, it's again a little bit sort of unusual out there again at the moment, so especially on the energy front. But there's a predicted outcome, and it has to be predicted because nobody knows what's going to happen at the moment. Until this announcement comes out today, nobody knows for certain. However, the prediction is that the October rise will still happen. And then hopefully there'll either be a freeze for the January and April one, or it will go up slightly in January as well. But the good news is, anybody that has fixed already, if they fixed over the last couple of months, you're going to be below the October price. If you fixed in the last week, you might be better off to come off and go onto the variable, because our variable is now 5% below the next nearest competitor. So we are still the cheapest supplier in the UK, and we can help people save even more by shopping with our unique cashback card. So this week I'm looking for people you know that may be a little bit bewildered or scared or unsure of what's happening, and that would like a bit of a chat to make sure that they can save money with the UK's most trusted utility provider. That's Ben Golding, Utility Warehouse.
Thank you, Ben. John, you're followed by Alden.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Hammond from Germany Technology. We deal with security. We mean your access control, your CCTV, your intruder alarms, which far along I want to focus on today. Even though businesses are going to be struggling with energy, they've got to maintain their fire alarm system. So if you know anyone who hasn't had their fire alarm system maintained, who's got a fault on it, we can fix it and we can do tests on it at a very cost competitive price. So just put our name forward and we'll give them a quote. Unfortunately, I won't be here next week. I'm going to Belgium to do some work for an agency. And that's all I can say because you called me. So that's me, John Hammond, from Germany Technology. deploying technology for security.
Thanks, John. Paul, you're followed by Vincent.
Good morning everyone, Paul DeLue, Red Vine Limited, we're a communications agency. We help businesses communicate clearly and effectively. And that's exactly what we've been doing this week. We're helping a client on some case studies that she's put together to illustrate her business to potential and existing clients and customers. So in particular, one of the case studies was about IDIs. Absolutely fascinating. She spoke about the ideation of IDIs, how she took the IDI results and curated them, and you don't know what IDIs are? Oh right, it's in-depth interviews. But that's the problem you see, is the accurate acronyms and the language she used, which was specific to her and her business, made these case studies almost impenetrable. So I sat down with her and we went through it. We made the language clear and effective for people to understand, so that actually you can trade the business in a much more accessible way. So if you would like a hand, or you know anybody that would like a hand putting together case studies which explain what their business does, then I'm the man. Thank you very much. Paul DeLue, Red Vine Limited, Communications Agency.
Vincent, you're followed by Brian.
Morning everyone, Vincent from Speak Print. We've been based in Gants Hill Village since before you were born. Not you, Brian. This is a story about 4 people named Everybody, Somebody, Anybody and Nobody. There was an important job to be done and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realised that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have. Now what does this tell us in a printing context? Absolutely nothing. Speed print, you think it, we ink it. Thank you, Brian.
Good morning, everybody. Brian, excuse me, hypnotherapist, Pilgrim Hypnotherapy. Interesting client this week. An old East Ender who's got a pie and mash shop. There's enough of him at the moment. But a couple of weeks ago, I saw a man who said he couldn't get in a lift, and he worked on the 8th floor in a tower block. He was getting tired walking up and down the stairs, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. He had no idea why he had this phobia about lifts. So using regression, it took him all the way back to, this was 57, to when he was 7, and his elder brother, just 18 months older than him, locked him in a cupboard. And then we went back even further. When he was 4 years old, his brother put him in the ottoman and sat on the top. He even described to me the colour of this ottoman. He had no conscious memory of these events until they brought back to him. Now they were brought back, and he then dealt with those incidents with his adult mind, not a 4 or 7-year-old mind, the phobia and stuff. Let me take it away. Thank you. So that's from hypnotherapy. Help is just a phone call away.
Also, a lot of rubbish.
Thank you very much, Brian. Terry, you're next, followed by Stuart.
Yeah, good morning everybody. Terry Bailey, TM Law. I've been telling you for a while now that the Landlord and Tenant Law, Section 21, is going to be changed dramatically next, probably April, but there's no guarantee. They've probably been working on a blog with me. But just to let you know that I'm now doing a service where I advise people in order they can serve the Section 21 notice. Because a lot of people come along and say, can you serve it? And I can serve it. But if I serve it and certain things are not in place, it'd be invalid. And I've had a lot of people who've served their own one. I said, have you done X, Y, Z? And I haven't done that. So your notice is invalid, you've got to start again. So for £150 plus VAT, I'll speak to them, I'll find out what they have done, I'll get the notice prepared and serve it. That's now, while it's a Section 21 notice. Say next year, we're not sure when, are we, Paul?
We're not.
But when we know, we'll tell you when it's going to happen. But for now, anyone who's thinking about serving a notice, give them my details, I'd be delighted to talk to them and make sure we get everything in place so the notice they've served is valid. Thank you. Terry Bailey.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Stuart.
Well, everybody, Stuart from LG Networks. Probably one of the most important things that a business is going to rely on is their internet connection. Once the lights are on, the first thing you're going to need is a decent internet connection. Still baffles me actually the number of businesses that say to me how critical their business internet is, and yet struggle to get out, to struggle by the cheapest possible service they can get away with. There are two types of internet out there. There's the public internet, which is what most of us use, including myself to be honest, and our home services. And that's absolutely fine. But there is also a completely separate private network. Okay, you're not going to be able to get that through BT, Retail, or TalkTalk, or Plusnet, or anyone like that. That's a specific wholesale provision. So we're looking for businesses that are struggling with their current internet service, fed up with it always dropping out, getting slow, not getting a response. We are looking to move those businesses who are prepared to invest on a business critical service onto a professional level private network. It's not for everybody, it is a bit more expensive, but that's what we're looking for, those businesses that are willing to invest in a business critical service. If you know of any of those, please put in touch with me. I'd love to speak to them about getting their own private internet service. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stuart. I thought Jane is next because she went first. It's Scott next, and you'll be followed by Paul.
Thank you very much for the inspiration from your headstart. So, making that first impression is really crucial, making sure that when people talk to your business for the first time, they perceive you as being worthwhile to engage with and professional and all of those things. And a really quick and easy, obvious, simple way to do that. If you're a one-man business or a small micro business, and it is just you sat in the office, like mine is, you can set up info@seo.com and accounts at seo.com, inquiries at seo.com, and publish those things so that it looks the bigger picture, that you have a bigger, larger, more professional outlook. And you can do lots of really simple, easy things like that by just changing the strategy of how you perceive yourself on your website. So if you want to look at the bigger picture, if you want to be the book that you've got from school and taken home and covered in your favourite wallpaper or poster or whatever it is, and create that different, better, sexy, or professional first impression, give us a shout. I'm sure I can.
Paul?
Morning, Paul Booth. Paul Booth, Chartered Certified Accountant based in Brentwood. The number one conversation we're having with clients at the moment is on making tax digital for income tax self-assessment, or MTD ITSA for short. April 24, 6 returns to be submitted to HMRC per year. Not one, 6 returns. Applies to self-employed with turnover above 10k, landlords with rental income above 10k. They've all got to make these 6 returns each year, but we've got a zero cost solution to do that with zero banking fees, zero online software. So today I'm looking for people who haven't made their online journey in readiness for MTD ITSA. It's Paul Booth from Booth & Co. in Nice Tax.
Thank you, Paul. I'm asking some questions about that in the Q&A. Amy Squire from TM Law. This week we've got instructions for the renewal of the lease from a client of commercial premises. The landlord had served a notice that it wouldn't object to the new tenants that set out in the code. The deadline to finalise this is March 2023, so we've got plenty of time. The tenants also have a current claim against the landlord for failure to maintain the premises. Sometimes I often act for landlords, but I often act for tenants as well, and in this instance I'm acting for the tenant. This is a good referral for me, so when you look out for tenants who are looking to renew a lease or in dispute with their landlord, send them to me. Satan Scott, TM Law, and I'm the last of the members. And as we come to the guest here, that's the end of the round. I'll hold you at a
Sorry,
my 60 seconds must have irritated in your nose.
So pesky landlords.
Jane, take us through.
Thank you very much. Well, I mean, if there was an award for the person that sneezes like a kitten, fantastic. But there was an overall theme of clarity today, which I really enjoyed. People clarifying either what they do about their business or helping us to understand what we need to do to be better informed and better positioned. And I like that very much. Lots of explanations going on, dealing with uncertainty and so on. So, well done everybody, because that just leaves us better equipped going forward in our business. I like that very much. I particularly picked up on one person, I did like Secret Squirrel, by the way. That was the person without clarity that can't tell us where they're going shortly. Very enjoyable. But the person I feel who's responded to a request for clarity about their business and has now produced a document answering it is our Hannah. Well done.
Thank you, James. Congratulations, Hannah. Well done. Is that your first Oscar?
Yeah, I just wanted to shock, really.
Slap yourself, you'll be fine. We move on. Scott, the meeting secretary's report. Well, you can talk about attendance at meetings, can't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's temporarily pause the visitor incentive and let's just concentrate on the member incentive. You're all here, so you should talk to people that aren't here. Yeah, exactly. So we might just send out a message, drop me an email today. Any news on guests for the forthcoming weeks? My guests is an electrician, and obviously he isn't here today, which is disappointing. Any other guests that you've invited that haven't turned up?
Yeah, I've got a friend that runs an alpaca farm. He's looking to
bring an alpaca along. Yeah, be good.
Yeah, I've got a guy that runs a security firm, so it's providing security guards to events, to businesses, and hopefully coming on next week.
Good, that's it. Anyone else?
So I had a guest that was coming in the next 2 weeks, but now has been asked to go on a project which takes them away, and they're coming in October. That's a celebrant.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yes.
Also been chatting to PC.
Great.
Yeah, not from me, but from a few of the emails that have gone around our group. We've got a possibility of about 3 or 4, but they're just trying to get them to come along. They can't make certain weeks, so it might be towards the end of September, possibly even early October. So yes, there's certainly about 4 that we've got so far invited.
And we did have one come in via live chat a couple of days ago, which I've spoken to James about, that has quite a niche insurance offering that they're interested in coming along and having a look, see if they can work with you. So we'll get there.
Yes, just going back to the old BNI days. Part of the condition of joining was that you committed to bring at least 3 visitors in the first 3 months or something like that from your network. Do you think we should maybe instigate that for new joiners?
I think that's quite a hard struggle with that.
It's 3 a year, not 3 a month.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say no.
But certainly it's something we can have a think about and try and incentivise. You know,
with new people have got a new network of people they know.
Yes, definitely worth thinking about. Right, Joe.
I think what we all ought to remember as well, as far as business is concerned, is we aren't having a visitors day, we're having a visitors month, and if it strains over into October, it's fine if the visitor turns up. I think it's important more that we have a mindset that we should be looking always for visitors to come along, that we should at least use the synergy team meetings as a way to touch base every time we meet once a month about any new visitors or anybody got any suggestions on that. And so that we try and create a momentum that we keep moving forward with visitors. So anyway, that's the thought. I think we've got some synergy team meetings coming up that might be confusing. Jane and Paul.
Yes.
Can we go first?
Sure.
Okay, so we've got B2B next Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. at George and Dragon Mount Nessing, always the second Tuesday of each month, and I'll send the regular invite. Hopefully, if it's reasonably sunny and warm, it might be the last chance to sit outside for the year. So yeah, I'll send the invite out.
Thank you. Bizarrely, this month, because the first of the month was a Thursday, the third in the month, which is when the B2 consumer meeting is the same week. So you have both the second one of the month and the third of the month in the same week. And so ours is next Thursday, a week today, and the plan is to stay on after, maybe out there, buy ourselves a drinky and continue. Whilst you're here, no extra petrol and so on. So that's technically B2C, but we're very happy to have some overlap here and go to both if you can.
Excellent. Thank you both. Just bear that in mind, so it's a Tuesday and Thursday.
Be still your beating heart.
Right. Ben, we now approach what will be 10 minutes for Q&A, but before we do, would you like to make the appropriate usual announcements going forward?
Okay, so yes, things to do about a Q&A today, but the speakers for the upcoming 4 weeks. So the 15th of September we have Howard doing his 10 minutes and Scott will be doing the education slot. 22nd will be my 10 minutes and Paul Booth doing the education slot. 29th will be Tina and I'll do the education slot, and then moving into October the 6th, Vince will be doing the 10-minute conversation and Paul Blue will be doing the education slot that day. When it is your turn to do the 10 minutes for a slot, please go to the EVF website, download the bio sheet and get it to me a day or two beforehand. If you can't do your 10 minutes or education slot or anything like that, please try and let me know as soon as possible. We'll do our best to try and jiggle things about and get you back in. And that said, I'll head back to you, Aidan, for today's Q&A.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben. In our intimate setting that we have here, Q&A is perhaps more appropriate than normal. Scott, you have your hand up first.
Mine's questions to Paul. With the huge rise in costs of energy, etc., can we adjust the amount we pay for use of home office? Yes, that's something you can kind of do by default.
Yeah, we do have been doing that for clients gradually. You've got to bear in mind where, often a big chunk of that home costs are personal. People are living there, but yeah, certainly we've been increasing use of home costs.
Is that a thing you put on as a monthly or as an annual big chunk? Is it?
Both really. Some people do it monthly, some people do it at the end of the year if they forget. We just make sure it's there in the accounts and the returns, so I get tax relief on it. So,
okay, thank you.
Paul, you whilst you're...
Ben, utility warehouse. Do you still do an extra discount for solar panels?
It's exactly the same now. We used to.
Right.
We used to give an extra penny per thing, and basically the law's changed. I was just checking to see whether the announcement had come out yet or not to the MD, but it hasn't yet. Yes, yeah, I see it's a bit late to say. I was hoping to repeat it now, but no, with the solar panels, it makes no odds whoever you're with for the feed-in tariff, because you will get exactly the same with any single supplier, exactly the same, no benefit. Swapping. However, the only benefit is obviously we can do it. So if you want it all in one place, then yeah, that's the only benefit. But there's no monetary value at all to be exactly the same.
Jane, I'm suffering lots of TikTok notifications at the moment. You mentioned your YouTube channel, probably actually more a question for parent, and maybe Mike as well. Is there a way of registering on? I don't do YouTube, so can you subscribe or like or what's the best thing for you?
Would you like me to send you the link? Is that all right?
Can you put it on the chat? And then I'll
Yes.
Can I jump in there? Because one of the things I was going to suggest, and possibly with Scott as well, is if I set up a Google document or something like that we can all edit, if everyone can put down all their Instagrams, all their YouTubes, all that sort of thing, we've just got one document with all our online things that we can all follow.
Can I make an advancement on an excellent idea? If you all just send me a damn, we can update your member profiles and all that stuff. I need websites. Yes, well, they should be already.
So send on a Google Doc.
Let's do that, but let's also please update your EBN member profile pages with that.
You know when you regret asking the question?
Right, okay.
Vincent, 2 questions for Scott. First question is, I did actually send my updated photos to you about a year ago.
And they have to be updated?
That's right. So I haven't checked.
Actually, your question. So,
What? No, that was the prequel to my 2 questions.
Oh, okay.
My first question.
Did you like the photo?
No, actually. Right, yeah. In the early days of websites, you were able to put sort of white lettering on a white background of other people, your competitors' names and stuff, so that they Google their name, your site would come up. Obviously, that's not allowed now anymore. But are there any other sort of little tricks that one can employ to?
The old school we're talking about is a technique to trick Google into. Google will read white text on a white background and think you're saying and using lots of phrases, which really you're not. It's the easiest, simplest trick for Google to spot. If you do those attempted shortcuts, it's going to kick you in the backside there. You will be penalised, banned, or have a penalty put on your site. You can't cheat. Google is too clever. There are some very sophisticated and complicated ways that you can try and break the rules and trick Google, but it comes with a caveat that if you're caught, you could be penalised and suffer consequence. My client, I talk about the toilet client, I spent at least 6 months building 10,000 pages on his website that are all targeted and they're cheating Google and they're having fantastic success, but the client is completely aware that there is a potential risk if you cheat.
It could all go down the pan.
You could get caught. So you can't shortcut. You've got to do it the hard way, or the slightly risky, which are really effective if anyone's interested in finding out more way. But yeah.
And my second question was the first question, which didn't have a question mark at the end of it. Where's my update?
Don't remember, you questioned and queried it 3 times and I had to angle it slightly and take a bit of the shine off.
No, that was my photo. My products.
Oh.
Products. I'll send them again. Thank you.
Hello, I've got a question for Emma. Emma, darling, I know that you're based more this side. Does that mean you wouldn't be able to represent if we put our house in the market ever? We're in micro.
Anyway, I don't tend to go into London because the whole point of me offering a personal service, if it takes me an hour or an hour and a half to get there, then it slightly defeats the point. But no, absolutely.
Well, thank you. Part 2, if we sold some land with planning permission on it.
Yeah.
Ka-ching.
Yeah.
Lunches on me. But is that something you sell, or do you sell existing properties?
No, anything. Land with planning, land being developed, houses, flats, sales, lettings, anything really.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Emma, whilst you're on houses and selling them, are prices holding up, given what you said about the way the market is getting a bit sort of lumpy at the moment? Does that mean prices are staying firm?
Sellers need to be realistic. I think, 3 months ago you could have sort of put it on for maybe a little bit higher and, people would buy. Now you need to be priced very realistically. I'm seeing a lot of properties that work on in the height of everything now being reduced. I would say there's probably a third of the properties that are going on now being reduced over the course of a few months. So it's all about pricing realistically in the current climate. More properties are coming on the market, therefore supply and demand is shifted. Whereas demand was here and supply was here, they're starting to go like that now. So it just needs to be realistically priced.
That's fine. Thank you. Terry.
Got a question for Hannah. Perhaps if she got away with it. Sat there quietly minded. Behind her Oscar. How would or could TikTok get me more business or clients? Specifically that.
Yeah, so I mean, it just depends on how you go with it. There's this one lady on TikTok who's done absolutely amazingly, but it's the simplest.
I don't mean all the following tonight. I mean the actual hard business. That's what I'm interested. Not interested in all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Not interested in being popular. Just interested. Will it get me more business? Is that its purpose, or is it not? Is the purpose of it just to get you out there and getting that, make you more popular and people do lots of lot? I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in will that platform, or could that platform get me more business if it's done directly? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. It just obviously depends the way that you put it. I mean, a lot of people just do it just to, make people more knowledgeable of their service, but you can always go down the route of, this is my business, this is what I do, please get in contact. So there is a way around it. Yeah.
Who would have thought Terry's not worried about being popular? Of the platforms, following that from what Terry said, knowing that we're lawyers, is there a particular platform that would be more suitable for us?
I mean, obviously LinkedIn is obviously the main one, but it just depends on your demographic really. If you're trying to hit certain subjects, I wouldn't necessarily say TikTok was the best platform for it, because obviously it generally has a younger demographic. But Instagram, they obviously do reels as well. So if you want to do reels and everything, Instagram would be the better route, because then that's obviously linked in with Facebook, so you can get the two as well.
Ben?
Ryan. Obviously, you spoke today about the phobia about the guy scared to get lifts. We've heard you speaking about so many different phobias and things that people will conquer. And are there anything that you don't help with, that you'll be category, no, I can't help you with that? Or can you kind of help people with anything?
Yeah, one of my is alcoholics. Invariably they forget to turn up. And the other I find very, very difficult, and success rate is only about 35-40%, is OCD. Now, it's very, very difficult.
At least they always turn up.
They're punctual.
They always turn up, he said.
That's why you didn't enjoy my 60 seconds, Brian.
Yeah, that's OCD. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Very, very quick question for John. The fire maintenance and the systems, the fire system. Do you do that on an ad hoc basis, or is it like a contractual basis?
We can do it as a one-off visit, or we can sign into a maintenance contract. It would be better if doing a same as service calls. If you need the service fault fixing on a panel, we can do it as an ad hoc one.
The reason I ask is because there's an Indian restaurant not a million miles from where I live who had fire in the accommodation bit, and someone that they went in, they put all these fire systems in, did everything because they couldn't open again, so he's done all that. And I know this because he spoke to me about that, making sure he got paid. And he then, I went there recently, and it's all lovely, it's all installed and it's all switched off.
The legal ramifications.
But you can do it, so you do an ad hoc one, yeah?
Yeah.
Not necessarily a contract one.
Yeah, there's a lot of business when we go into them where the panels in permanent fault. And if anything ever happens,
they're food.
Yeah, they'll need prison.
I've got a card in there.
Well, insurance company wouldn't pay out.
That's Jerry that field day, isn't it? Yeah. I might drop the card in there.
Yeah, every business should have their fire system tested by a competent person who can sign off to say it works between 1 and twice a year from the side. And that's not testing myself. That's not doing the fire call bubble. Everyone's meant to do weekly on their premises. You test the card on, we can go to it.
Maybe quarterly.
We've seen that far, haven't we? Oh yeah, our building's someone we've literally got the bell.
And that's
Airway story.
As long as you can hear it in all locations in the building.
Absolutely. Near it around the bar.
Yeah. You test that every week.
Have you got any deaf staff?
Yeah.
You've got a visual.
Yeah, you only actually need manual call points on the fire system for a business to open. Smoke detectors are really there for your own convenience. And if you cannot see all areas of the building from your location, if you've got an open warehouse, you only need 12 call points. If you've got offices like Stuart, which go past an escape route, then you could have an issue. If you can't see the fire in the escape route, and therefore you need automatic protection.
Do you provide carbon monoxide? Sorry, it's following on from that. Is it the laws are changing around carbon monoxide, and landlords are going to have. Now they're not necessarily wide in, but is it something that you can?
We can provide. We don't tend to do domestic.
Right.
More carbon monoxide is the problem with carbon monoxide is how many people got carbon monoxide detector in their house? Where have you got it sold?
Sorry, near the boiler.
Near the water. Whereabouts on the wall?
Yeah, it's just got on top of the cupboard.
It's just that carbon monoxide is heavy in there. Up there, nobody whatsoever.
Oh, brilliant.
Down there.
That's where the man told me to put it.
As long as you've got the bucket, you'll be fine.
And the thing is, if you pass out CO2, because it has reached us there, it's going to be 100 times worse at the bottom where you just fell. Yeah, carbon monoxide detector should be laid down.
The practical use of the Q&A.
A lot of people put CO2 detectors in fire smokes. Fire smokes meant to be a couple of seconds before you went in. No point putting a CO2 detector in that. Everyone will be dead by the time it gets there. Particularly with ice.
Very easy to go.
Yes, I know. I've got a question for John. Which company are you going to see on Delaware? No, that's not my question. My question is this. For companies with CCTV, the police are doing an investigation and they ask to see your footage. Can they demand to see your footage? Are you legally obliged to show them what you've got? No, nothing's happened yet.
Business, yeah.
Just business, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's domestic, it's a bit complicated. But domestic you can give it anyway.
Right. No, I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't even got CCTV.
They do have the legal rights. And you might need a warrant.
Cool. Carry on.
James.
Onto Scott. Live chat. My company actually has a handsome face as well, fortunately. So, if we wanted to do a trial on live chat on our website, what's the cost and how difficult would it be to set it up if we were just looking to try it?
I can happily set up a live chat for anybody. Ongoing, it's $15 a month for one user. So if you've got multiple people that want to be concurrently signed in, it's $15 for each person who wants to bring on. That's it. It really is very straightforward and simple.
Okay.
Kind of a no-brainer. You get a month to try it out, and if you like it, then you just sign into the full package, and away you go.
Okay, that is the end of the Q&A. Thank you all for your participation. It was very, very positive, very useful, and quite appropriate for our size of meeting today. So thank you all for that. Right, that leads us into the recording of testimonials. We'll start with Paul, and if you could do the, that would be great. Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel, for the meeting. A couple of thank you monies to Howard and Mike for just under £4,000.
Nothing to run around on my behalf to stay for. Thanks for the meeting. Thanks again, Scott. Good meeting.
Yes, I found that quite fun. I've not done a Q&A here before, so that was interesting. I had a one-to-one with Brian last week, who is absolutely fascinating, and yeah, very much enjoyed it. So thank you.
Yeah, good to be back. Didn't think that when the alarm went off, but I've got a thank you for the money for Terry, as you say. I've got one for John.
Thank you.
And for Vince.
Oh, sorry, so I didn't see that. Thank you, James.
Yes, just a testimony for James. I've got a bit of paper, but I would like to add a little bit, if that's all right, James. I've looked after my professional indemnity insurance, and it's always a bit of a nuisance because it's difficult sometimes to get, and the fees have been going up and up and up. That's right, James. James managed to secure me insurance with the previous insurers, very little uplift on the policy and no fuss, so I really appreciate that because it's one of my major stresses each year. So thank you very much. I'll give James a bit of paper. That's all. And also quickly, Hannah, I organise a one-to-one you. Okay.
No, trying to think what's saving. See you all again. That's very good. No, I read that. I've got to add to that. Hannah, yeah, can you add your document to the general chat?
Yeah,
Get
sure.
that share.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, good. It's
Very enjoyable meeting as always. Basically, had 2 one-to-ones with Scott. I've been back for 2 years, still can't remember which one. 2 one-to-ones with Scott. Really appreciate it. It was interesting and yeah, watch the space.
Lots of showing the money bits coming from Matt. There's been lots of annual renewals for different services and things. So that's great. What was I going to say? Mike, that's what I was going to say. Specifically talking about videos for websites.
Yep.
Can we have a one-to-one and produce something to go on my website, selling you, and we'll collaborate. Really get that pushed out. Show it off as well as talk about it.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Hannah and I got together during the week and the one-sell thing we had a one-to-one. Very helpful, very interesting. Jane, I'm going for your jams.
Thank you. So,
yeah, great Q&A today, really good. So I've got a thank for the money to ex-member Mason. Had one-to-ones, obviously wasn't here last week, so I had one-to-one with Paul Stewart and Mike Rogers, well, Stewart can have that one. And then I've got a referral here from Brian, and what we spoke about 2 weeks ago is when you get back from holiday, that friend that wants to stop smoking. And thank you, Jane, for sending your birthday present out to Parents' Day, and next week for the other one that's going to have they got promoted, and then week after I was going to have another one as well. So I'll put that through as another one. Yeah.
thank you.
But great meeting, see you next week.
Really enjoyable Q&A. I got a referral for Stuart, you know, about the test board and broadband. I did send you through that already. And I've got a thank you for the money for Stuart. And I've got another thank you for the money for Stuart and Colin and Connor and Tesla Group again for Stuart. I've got that one. That's all for Stuart. I tried paying that insurance last night, but it didn't go through on the bank. It said there was a net with the bank detail. You haven't changed it.
No, the invoice will have the details on there.
Oh.
I don't know what I've already got. I've got.
Read the invoice.
I've got another shipping insurance. I don't know whether you do shipping insurance. I've got one for Matt for the sign, but he's not here. That's it. Say again.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I had a very interesting one-to-one with Emma. Went on for well over an hour, which tends to indicate how much I like chicken sauce steak. And I also enjoyed that virtual visit around the house you got for sale.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Thank you.
Thank you. See you next week.
Yeah, great meeting as always. Great expert there, and I really enjoyed that Q&A actually. It's a really good thing to do. I had a very interesting one-to-one with Aidan. Hopefully next time we meet up, I won't that cafe with the odd chairs. Hard to get in and out of.
Yeah, all chairs are hard for me to get in.
I've got a referral for James for me just to help out with my professional indemnity insurance. And just a little bit of a proud moment I had this week. I've been guiding Jane over and over again on how to update and put out things on TikTok, obviously when I'm not there, and I saw that she successfully put up a story announcing our live today at 5 p.m. if you can get on there. So that was sort of a proud moment for me because it was always going back on to how to do it. So well done, Jane. Brilliant. Thank you, you know me.
I had a lovely time.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the jam assortment purchase there. That's lovely. And Ben for the chocolate brownie on an ongoing basis, really. Thank you so much. Hannah, 1-to-1, continuing today. William Werner, 1-to-1. Thank you, Ben, for your starting us off in the right direction. Good food for thought for us. Vince, I do like that poem. It's about visitors, really. Everybody thinks it's somebody else's job to, and then nobody...
Tell Brian you didn't enjoy it at all.
Have you heard it?
Oh, man.
You'll sound somebody and nobody and whatever.
That's the one.
And I think I'll shut up, except to say, Paul, I do agree entirely with your message, because, that was clever, I went to a 3-hour lecture about exporting to China, and in the very first 10 minutes they talked about working in the RMB, and at that point I should have gone, sorry, what is the RMB? But I didn't, because I kept thinking it would clarify, and I assumed it was a building or a organisation, and for 3 hours I had no clue what they were talking about. It was a pivotal thing. Turns out it was the renminbi, which is the currency, but I'd never heard of that. I thought yen was the currency, RMB, and so somehow I was floundering for the full 3 hours, and because they used jargon they expected everybody to understand. I thank you.
Yeah, it's essential. You put VIP, isn't it? Are you collecting pens? No. Jane, just before we shut it down, you saw William. How is he and what's he doing?
Right, I had a Zoom with William for an hour. Well, he has been in a wheelchair. He can walk around, but then he has to compensate by putting his legs up, and he's got some sort of cooling machine to cool the wound. He's got a large scar. He was proud to show me on Zoom. He's doing all the nuanced exercises because he wants to properly get use of his leg. He's not satisfied with just being able to walk again. He wants to all of that. And he also was talking about how he can get more referrals in the group and what can he do to engender that. And I was just chatting with him about all those matters. He's well in himself and he hopes to come back next week.
Any news on Alison at all? Coming back?
Yeah, yes, she's working. I think she'll be another couple of weeks. I think she's got a girls' night or girls' get-together.
Girls' morning next Monday.
So I think she's working her way back in. I think the situation was that her father passing was a shock, despite the fact that it had been contemplated, because I think it was sudden within the context of how he was being treated. So yes, but she's certainly positive with me about coming back. So hopefully we'll have 2 people back fairly shortly that will swell our numbers and take that. Okay, good. Thank you all.
If anybody'd like a one-to-one straight after this meeting, I can be available.
And for bar mitzvahs and everything else.
Yes. You can't get rid of me.
Thank you. Okay, Scott, have you got a referral reality check that we can do?
We can have a go from the small collection of baskets referrals. From Howard to Aidan, Will, and power of attorney for Carol.
Spoken to the lady and got my questionnaire, so we all.
Okie dokie. Can't read that. From Leanne to Vincent, printing of business cards.
We haven't got around to it yet, but prices have been given.
First step.
Yeah.
Terry Manning to Ben Golding.
Take out boiler cover, please.
You've done that, haven't you?
Done.
Yeah.
I've got anything for that.
Fantastic.
And thanks to that all of it. SIM cards and all that.
Well, mind you, I don't get anything from you. You're not my customer.
Can you?
No. It's like me, the money, I'm afraid. Yes, Jenny. Jane haven't left me for a while.
Yes, I know, so sorry. Leanne has sent a message saying, does anybody know a cleaning person, a domestic in the Brentwood area? She's reached out to the group for help on that.
Mason, that's the
Really?
Domestic.
Domestic.
Does domestic now.
Domestic now, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Is he
Done
still,
two for me.
I don't have his contact details. Would anybody else be able to answer that?
Is he Romanian? Is he Romanian?
No, it's now.
Could anybody else give us Mason's details? I don't have them. Is there
Someone can.
somebody, anybody knows?
Somebody nobody will.
Everybody.
There you go, Jane.
Oh, thank you.
Take a picture of it, put it on the roof.
So just gonna do one. Yeah, it's doing domestic. It's done a couple of my flats and stuff.
Perfect.
Really thorough.
Yeah. Okay. Right. James is doing that. We're all sorted. Right. Well, I got here in the dark this morning. It's nice and sunny now, but it's raining. There you are. 4 seasons in one day. Nice to see you all.
See you nice.
To see you. Announcements, reminders, and special reports. Yeah, well, I was going to ask whether that was the case. Has anybody got anything?
James got something to say.
Jane.
I've got something to say.
I've got a question for Brian. What's happening with the go-kart? Are we going to try and get that back on now?
Well, I'm going to announce it today, but
Back on then?
What's that? I'll go away on the 27th. I'm hoping to get it all fixed up before I go away.
You going to give that up for it?
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to just
One for me, won't you?
I'll send an email around and say this. I didn't think it was worth mentioning today. But people can read emails, can't they? Those who are not here. Yeah?
Anybody else? Scott.
Race nights. If anyone does fancy coming along, one or two have said that they're up for coming along to get a gambling on the silly horses. If anyone else fancies it, it will be a really family-friendly, fun, silly evening to help raise a couple of quid for the Scouts. But if you fancy it, a nice little social. The 24th of this month at local Barswell Social Club here in Brentwood. Scott.
Right. So as I say, I'll send you out to the sun, send you out into the rain. I will look forward to seeing you. May I ask if you communicate with anybody in the group this week who didn't turn up, can you just make sure that they are aware of the need to turn up? I appreciate there are lots of things going on at this time of year, but we do need to get the numbers up and we do need to get the visitors over the line. So let's see if we can make positive chases for those who were going to come and didn't come and we expect to come or whatever. Okay, thank you all for attending. It's nice to see you all. And look forward to seeing you next week.